So you think you have all the answers, do you? Well, this dysfunctional duo is going to tell you what you need to know, whether you like what they have to say or not. Prepare yourself, because these two sassy sisters are at it again. Now here's Tanya and Courtney as they discuss this life unfiltered.
Everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to This Life Unfiltered. Welcome, everybody. It's been a while.
Sunday.
Yeah, happy Sunday. We have been busy with family and Thanksgiving, and Courtney went to Hawaii.
Yes.
And I started flight lessons, and Nana had a spell today. She fell. Yes. So it's just been non-stop craziness.
I'll tell you what, it's easier taking care of my grandkids than it is my 82-year-old mother who has some issues. So
poor Nana.
Yeah, I know.
But she's
Nana.
okay. But she's okay. She's okay. The emergency is under control.
Well, and the thing is I caught her. She was walking to the restroom and she wasn't wearing her oxygen, and we're learning that she can't do that anymore. And thank God I was there.
Yeah.
And I caught her so she didn't go down. But yeah, she was out. She was not, she like passed out. Her eyes were open, but no one was home. So.
Well, her oxygen got down. Well, we don't know how much it was today, but it had been down to 40, she said.
Walking around without oxygen, yeah, that's just not good.
No, it's not.
That's a disaster waiting to happen. But we're increasing her O2. We're making her wear her oxygen. She's a naughty Nana, and her fall alert. Correct.
She needs to wear that 24/7, which she did not have on her.
She's a naughty Nana. I wanted to point out that I have Revolution Road Ranger as my name today.
Yes. What is up with that?
Okay, well, our new audience may not know, but we had a channel back during the last presidential election, and we had a channel called Revolution Road Ranger, and I was the Road Ranger and you were Honey Badger.
I know. Those were the good old days. Yes.
Yes. But there were, our channel got shut down a lot because YouTube has lots of beautiful censors. That's why even on this show, you guys might have to read between the lines because we don't use certain words. Yeah. You just can't.
No, because we'll get kicked off again. And then, we don't want that.
No, exactly. So we're calming down our format. But today I felt, you know what? I feel like Road Ranger, and I'm Road Ranger. So
why are you having this Road Ranger feeling today?
I don't know. I felt like Road Ranger was home to me. I felt like, I loved being Road Ranger. I would come on and say, "Hey, Road Rangers," and that was really cool. Not everybody could do that, and I could.
Well, and the name came to her. It was kind of like a spinoff from the Patriot Street Fighter, which Scott McKay, if any of you know, he has a radio show. He's very well known within the movement, and so we were watching him. I still watch him. I don't know if you probably don't, Courtney. Yeah, you need to start watching them because things are cooking. Things are heating up again, which I cannot wait until we get to the news section because I have some juicy news.
And we're going to get there. But, and I thought at the time, while we have Patriot Street Fighter, I thought, well, maybe I could be like the female version. And so we were going through wordsmithing. We had Revolution. And during that time, I was driving back and forth to Woodstock to see you guys. And there are truck stop, and I love truck stops. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and the roller dogs.
Road Ranger truck stop, and I'm like, well, okay, we've got Patriot/Revolution, and then Street, Road, and then Fighter, Ranger. So I'm like Revolution Road Ranger, and it just I just feel like it's me.
It is you, and I'm so glad that your alter ego is back.
I love it. I can't
I
wait.
might change my name to Honey Badger because I
So
love
why were
being Honey
you
Badger too.
why were you Honey Badger? Let's talk about why you chose Honey Badger as your call sign.
Because Honey Badger doesn't take shit. Honey Badger,
Hair.
they fight. Have you seen that famous video about a honey badger? It's voiced over and it's so funny. The honey badger, okay, I'm gonna have to show it in the future. It is
Yeah.
the funniest video you've ever seen. The honey badger just attacks and eats every scorpions and snakes and coyotes, and it's a badass. Badass.
Honey Badger don't care.
Yeah, bad. Exactly. So that's why
Sounds like a scary woodland creature.
it's not a woodland creature.
Sounds like one.
It's not.
Okay, well, what else, man? I'm not going to fight you. I can't fight you virtually, okay? So give me some updates. What's going on? You said you started taking flight lessons. What's the dealio?
I have had 3 flight lessons. My next lesson is Tuesday. I'm going to be flying 3 days a week, but let me tell you, it's a lot of work because I have to study between lessons. So
Mhm.
there's ground school and there's a lot of material. I mean, it's just a lot of information. And so in order to, when I go up to with my instructor 3 times a week, it's in my best interest to read and prep for whatever she's going to review so I get the most out of it.
Yeah.
So she sent me a bunch of information via email that I have to, I scanned and I printed out some things. Like, for instance, I have to memorize, oh my goodness. It's pretty cool. The there's an emergency algorithm, A, B, C, D, and E, which I have to memorize. So whenever there's an emergency, there's A for airspeed, B for best place to land, C for checklist, D for declare an emergency, and E, emergency landing. I won't go into grand detail, but there's so much information that I need to memorize in order to pass my, there's a written exam and there's an oral exam, and there's so anyway, it's, I like it. It's just consuming a lot of my time.
You can't just phone it in. You're going to actually have to learn, which is hard.
Right, because I have to pass the test. But I really like she's a female flight instructor. She's young, and I do like her, and we get along fine. She has a good sense of humor, and she drinks wine, not in the cockpit. But I do need my wine. It's almost 5 o'clock here.
I figured you've been drinking already.
No.
Oh, give me a break. What's in
I have not. It's water.
I don't believe you.
Well, no, it's water. I do not. Okay, so I have this Yeti cup, if you can see it. No, you can't. The Yeti cup, I do not put anything in there except for water. That is it. So I do, if Anonymous Bob is listening in, maybe he can get me a glass of wine while we're on air.
He there?
Yes, he got home today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Very good.
Yeah.
You know, I actually, while I was in Hawaii, I wasn't drinking my ASEA, and I'm going to do a shot really quick. This is ASEA. This is my cell signaling, redox signaling molecules. And I'll tell you what, when I came back, I felt like doo-doo, poo-poo.
Okay, so let's talk about, so how long were you without ASEA whenever you're ready?
Okay, that's 2 ounces. So I would say probably I left the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then I came back probably Monday. I came back Monday, and it wasn't till Tuesday, and that fast, in less than a week, I went from having energy and feeling good to just feeling like no energy. I just can't imagine. Seriously, I can't imagine not having this stuff. And I was realizing that I'm going to probably drink this the rest of my life because, I mean, talk about just even having energy to get out of bed. and work and have like brain fog. You know, it helps with clear my head of the brain fog. So anyway, sorry, I just wanted to, I'm actually going to be taking it right now before I forget, but I do 8 ounces
a
in a
day.
little shot cup. Yeah, a little shot cup, and it's got molecules in it to help repair at the cellular level, and it's just a fountain of youth in a bottle. And I tell you what, just not having it for a week, because traveling, I couldn't bring a 32-ounce bottle
Unless
on
you
the plane.
unless you checked your bag. Yeah.
Correct. And I didn't want to do that. So I went without, and big mistake. So it's huge. So anyway, we've got more. If anybody is interested, we can definitely get you more information on that. And we have staff that actually can answer questions. And anybody who is interested, we have a free gift for you if you are interested. So why don't you tell us about your story or any other updates you've got?
Okay. So, and I'm surprised. Well, I listen to several YouTubers, rumblers, whatever you want to call them. Michael Jaco is one of my favorites. And let me paraphrase this, and I'm actually going to show you the Supreme Court case that is on the docket. Okay. So this private citizen, there is they're brothers. There's 4 brothers, and they must have a legal background because they are doing this all on their own. They're in Utah, and they, for the last year and a half, it's taken them this long to go through the court system. And what their complaint is when the vote was counted. And I'm trying to choose my words very carefully because I do not,
between the lines
right. I don't want to get kicked off because this is a very sensitive date. It was a date in the first month of the year.
January. Okay.
Yes. And so we all know the date in the big event that happened in Washington. When our Congress voted, they had real evidence in front of them that our election was interfered by a foreign entity. And I'm hoping I'm not going to screw up on YouTube. It's like, okay, what am I supposed to say?
There was some Scooby-Doo meddling.
Right. There was some shenanigans.
Was there
what?
Who was the Scooby-Doo ghost? Did it begin with R or did it begin with C? I'm talking like countries that begin with.
Yes. So there was a lot of shenanigans going on and they had a lot of evidence. Well, when this evidence was presented, they ignored it. And under the Constitution, our Congress has to defend and protect the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of their core jobs. And in the Constitution, it's clearly stated, I don't know what article it is, it's on the docket, that if they don't defend the Constitution, it's treason.
Okay.
And so this brother, there's 4 brothers that went through the circuit, and there is a really good Rumble channel or Rumble recording, and we'll put it in the description because it's fascinating. Michael Jaco actually interviewed the gentleman who started this, and he goes into detail. Rowland Bruson is his name, and
I have no idea what that word was.
Well, I'm trying. Roland, here, let me show my screen. Let me show my screen because maybe I'm not pronouncing it right. That's a shocker. Okay. Okay, do you see my screen? Search
Yes.
results.
So
Okay,
this is
so
the Supreme
this is
Court
the
docket.
Supreme Court of the
Okay.
United States. The case number is 22-380. This is the title. So here's his name, Rowland. How would you pronounce that name?
I can't. It's too small for me to see. Probably Rowland. Rowland. Okay.
Yeah.
When is it up? When are they looking at it?
This is the date. January 6th, 2023.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
What a
Why would they pick
coincidence.
that date, huh?
What a coincidence.
Okay.
So if I look up the main document. Okay, so this is the main document, and it's very interesting. I didn't read it for every line by
Sure.
line, but it took this guy a year and a half to make
Yeah.
it to the Supreme Court. And he had a lot of hurdles and
Oh, you have to go through like regional
oh
courts,
my
local
God.
courts, state courts, and then it just
Here it
keeps
is.
progressing.
Oh yeah, well, and they don't make it easy.
No.
He was explaining all of the hoops that he had to go through, and he had to redo several because it has to be on a certain paper and it has to be a certain font, and they make it difficult on purpose. But anyway, it's here, and they're having a conference on it on January 6th, 2023. And this is basically it's a serious national security breach. And if you go into let me scan here, let me highlight some. So the respondents are 388 people. It's Congress.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like Congress. Yep.
It's Congress. So they list every respondent.
And this is right and left. This is both sides of the
Oh
aisle.
yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah. And let me scroll down. Yeah.
And yeah, and
Go ahead.
there has to be meat there because the Supreme Court has accepted it, and
Yep.
they're going to review it. So
Yep.
they would have turned it down if there wasn't any meat there.
Yep. Oh yeah. So respondents were properly warned and were requested to make an investigation into a highly covert, swift, and powerful enemy, as stated below, seeking to destroy the Constitution and the United States. Respondents purposely thwarted all efforts to investigate this, whereupon this enemy was not checked or investigated. Therefore, the respondents adhered to the enemy. Because of the respondents' intentional refusal to investigate this enemy, petitioner Roland Bruson brought this action against respondents because he was seriously personally damaged and violated by this action of the respondents, and consequently, this action unilaterally violated the rights of every citizen of the United States and perhaps the right of every person living in all courts of law. It goes on and on, but it goes. They have a lot of to get to this level. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So let me turn my sharing off. So I've been listening to a lot of people's opinion on this. And there are a lot of people who are saying, okay, this is like a trap for the Supreme Court. They need to do the right thing.
Well, this is definitely going to be a benchmark / litmus test, because if this grabs hold, then I think that you're going to see a snowball effect.
Well, if they agree with this and said, yeah, they did not do their duty, all of these Congress people are going to be charged with treason. And what will happen, they're speculating, is that the previous administration will be back because the current administration is unlawful. So they have to reverse it back to how it was on that date, and they're going to have to redo the election.
And that could be the case. I just don't see that happening, and I'll tell you why. It's just, even if they found it, there are so many people who have, getting paid under the table. There's so much, corruption. Talk about banana republics. It's just everything's so screwed. And I want to be clear to folks, because you and I both agree on this. It doesn't matter who wins.
No, this has nothing to do with politics. This has nothing to do with politics at all.
It's just, we need to be able to trust our elections, and it needs to be fair, and we need to not have any type of interference from anybody.
Right.
Internal, external.
But they're kind of in a bad situation. The Supreme Court will have to do the right thing. And so we'll see what happens.
That's very interesting.
I was shocked that the Supreme Court reversed Roe versus Wade. I thought that the Supreme Court was more liberal.
Yes.
But I mean, they went by the law. They went by the law, and it was unlawful. It was unconstitutional. So that's why. So that, we'll see. But this might be the most important case of our lifetime, or in centuries.
We'll see, because it's just getting worse and worse. And one of the things I was going to bring up is what's just happened in Arizona, and talking about interference. Well, there's a huge conflict of interest in Arizona, because one of the parties running for governor is still at this point the head of the whole election process, Ms. Hobbs. And there are people, county supervisors, that all have to go in and certify their votes for their county. And one of the county supervisors came forward and said that he certified it, but it was under duress. Because what they've learned is, if they felt uncomfortable and did not want to certify, they were told that they would then be charged with a felony and be given 2 years in prison. So he didn't have a choice. Okay, well, or he could have been a hero and stood up and said, okay, well, I'm not doing it, and go ahead and put me in the slammer. But basically, there is no checks and balances in that situation.
Yeah.
And they've all been told, that's fine. But then you're going to go to jail, and you're going to be charged with a felony. So where is that? The certification is for somebody to go through it and just say, okay, yeah, everything was good. We're good to go. But you can't not do it. So again, if this person had won, fair and square, no problem. But, there were a lot of issues with the machines, and there's a lot of questions. You can't tell me that in 2022, we have a state who simply cannot get their election counted. At least the next day, okay? Yeah. Give me a break. So we have a lot of problems. And somebody needs to clean it up. And so this might be, good article, might be something that can get fixed at the highest level, and hopefully will trickle down.
Well, if the Supreme Court.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I told you what they're anticipating what will happen. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see for sure. Absolutely. We just want to know that it's fair. That everybody's vote counts, and that at the end of the day it's tabulated, and and it's fair. There's too many things that are going on now that have turned political, and it's crazy. I was going to talk about what the chief twit, Mr. Musk.
Oh yeah.
Well,
he's blowing it up, baby.
He is. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is on Twitter, and I'm sure everybody's heard by now because it's out everywhere. It's kind of these truth bombs that are going on, because the problem that we're seeing here is that there was a lot of suppression of a story right before the 2020 election that benefited a certain candidate. And basically the problem is that while the social media platforms are somewhat privatized and protected from the First Amendment, the government asking them to censor is in breach of the First Amendment. You can't have, now you're talking really banana republic when you've got a government going to, a newspaper, a magazine, whatever, and saying, hey, you need to get rid of this. And there's absolute proof of lists of people that they would send and, response handled, and these are people that would get shut down because, or, if they weren't shut down completely, I'm sure that the Twitter gods would go in and delete posts, and that's probably what they did. But it's hysterical. Somebody was, I was watching a video on YouTube Shorts, and it was Musk was holding a meeting, like a Zoom meeting with his new Twitter employees. And he said, how many Gen Zs do we have? And a lot of them raised their hands. And he asked a question. He said, okay, how many hours per week should a work week have? And he called on one of his employees. They had little numbers down. I don't know if they're employee numbers. And he asked, okay, 0134, how many hours should there be in a work week? And 0134 said, probably only 30 because, I need to work, but I need time to chill. And literally said, okay, that's not right. You're fired, and turn them off the Zoom. And there were other employees that he asked, questions for that they didn't get, right. And these are obvious questions. And he said, okay, you're fired, and just turned him off. I mean, he's,
oh my word.
These young people, and I work in advertising, and I've been to Google, and I mean, I've been to a conference room where the chair was made out of a bathtub, and they had a whole area with basketball, pool table hockey, the free meals. I mean, it's crazy. These people don't know what it's like to work.
No, they don't.
So anyway, it's just,
I've been on the campus of Meta.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like Disneyland. Seriously, it's a whole city, and everything's free, and it's just,
I mean, those things are great, but I mean, if you're running a business, you can't, the business is not going to stay around with all that fluff. And these people expect it.
I know. Well, they're going to be a rude awakening,
I just couldn't believe you're on with the owner of Twitter, and he's asking you how many hours in a work week, and you're defending 30 because I need time to chill. And the guy's in the meeting wearing sunglasses.
Oh my
God! He's on his phone. He's like, "Yeah, man, I
oh my God! I want to watch that. I want to watch that. You said YouTube Shorts?
Yeah, I'll see if I can send it to you. Yes.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should put it in the description.
I'll see if I can find it. It's just it's a guy on YouTube who found this video, and it's crazy. I'll see if I can find it.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm hungry. I'm gonna have dinner, so I'm gonna let you go. I'm done.
Okay, it's not like we're just gonna go. All right. Well, everybody, I hope you have a great day. I'm hungry. I have to go now. All right. Well,
I need time to chill.
We're going to pray for the children, and we're going to pray for free and fair elections. Yeah, we're gonna. That's what we say on Road Ranger. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and just say goodbye, everyone.
Okay. No, you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say. Oh, be easy on yourself. Like yeah.
Okay? They like you. I just want you to know that they like you.
Be happy. Don't
Just
be hard on yourself.
do
And
it.
gosh darn it, people like you.
They just do. Do it.
All right.
All right, bye, everyone. We love
All
you.
right. Well, hang on. Now I have
Bye.
to figure out how to do this.
You don't know how to do it.
Okay. Goodbye.
We miss you. Goodbye.